I feel totally overwhelmed because somehow with my music I've always felt a connect with Baba, and I've always felt that he has helped me in my most difficult moments in music. And performing in front of him has always been like, shall we say that जैसे कि धन्य हुए हम साई युग में हमने जन्म है पाया. Every time I sing that line, I feel so blessed that I've seen him and I was able to perform. 97th birthday, first being here itself was a great feeling. And then today I really felt he was here. When I was singing and in that whole Kulwant Hall, the whole place, I don't know, I just felt he was there and he was blessing us all and he had a smile on his face. And I feel really blessed, and I must thank you all for having invited me here on such a wonderful occasion. And sometimes I feel, what is our lives without Baba's blessings? So I still feel he's holding our hands. That's the most important thing for me.
Your song Janam Diya it has become immortal. You know, everybody sings it all over the world. All through, it was just a collective devotional offering. Madam, if you can share some of your precious interactions with Bhagwan. You have had so many interactions with Bhagwan. I know he has so many ways touched you, protected you, guarded you, he has guided you.
Well, I'm wearing a sari given to me by him. I particularly remember one of the birthdays when I came to sing. It was like I was supposed to sing one day and then the 7-day gap and then on his birthday in the stadium. And I remember singing and I came with a very, very bad bronchial attack and I sat on stage and I just could not sing. I somehow mumbled through and got off after one song. I couldn't do it. And I was literally crying because I said I was supposed to sing in front of Baba and here I am, I can't sing. And I was very, very upset with myself. Then Baba came and he said, what happened? I said, I can't sing, and I started crying in front of him. And he just gave me some vibhuti which was so warm. And he said, nothing will happen. You have this just go and have it every day for 7 days. Have it for 7 days. I flew back to Bombay and had it for 7 days and came back from Bombay. And sure enough, I sang Janam Diya for him in the stadium.
Wow.
And after I finished singing, of course, all the singers, we all went to take his blessings. And when we did pranam, he said, what happened? Why were you crying? Everything okay? No, you sang today. Everything will be okay. That's what he told me. And now every time, I feel a little low, I remember that sentence that everything will be okay.
As they say, life with Swami is endless hope. And life without Swami is hopeless end.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like, when we hear you. Yes, sir, please. You have had so many moments with Swami.
Swami has indirectly or directly guided throughout my life so far. I met Swami for the first time in 1975. In Bombay, Swami was giving Darshan. At the time, George Harrison and Ravi Shankar, we were all there. Swami gave the vibhuti to George Harrison. George was very nice. Immediately we got. That time I felt, won't it be nice if I get it from Swamiji's hand? Even though George gave. But how our human psychology, we got the vibhuti, but the greed, we should have got from Swami. The next thing I knew was, we were all finished. Darshan was, so we were going out. So somebody came and said, Swami is calling you all. So we went back. So that at the time that Shirdi Baba film was released. So some actor, a lot of people were there. So one thing which shocked me was they were trying to introduce me. They were saying this is so. Even before they said my name, Baba said, I know Subramaniam, his father lives in Raipeta. It got a shock because, thousands of people there. And how does he know my father, which area he's living in? That really shook me. That was my first shock I had seeing him. Seeing him creating vibhuti and then saying where my father was. Raipeta was somewhere in one place in Madras. And how does he know he lives in Madras? He said, I know Subramaniam's father lives in Raipeta. Very casually, that immediately, oh my God, what happened? Then he said he did it and there was vibhuti in my head. So here I was waiting for a little vibhuti in hand.
He was showered with vibhuti.
He did it and I don't know what happened to me. It was one of the biggest shock I had at that time. I've never seen anybody doing this, or anybody saying your father lives here or anything. So before anybody tells, that was the beginning for me. A lot of things I did. Indirectly, I was put it in different directions. To be short, I had a job. I finished my MA in music. In those days, getting a job, being a musician is like a golden opportunity. People were little cling to that till they retired. No, so I was not happy because
It was a job in Cal Arts, California, and the Cal Arts where he finished his masters in music. There itself, he got a teaching job in Cal
even
Arts.
before I finished my MA, because it was 2-year MA, I finished all the requirements in 9 months. So then the dean said, why don't you stay here and collect the certificate and go, or you go back and come, because I was so homesick. I just want to go. I finished all the requirement, but I had to give one concert for the second year to finish the course. I said, I'll give the concert now so I can go home. They said, no, I can't do it. So at that time, I told my father. Father said, stay there. Then the dean offered. He said, why don't you be a part-time faculty and teach here? I'll give you a salary. You be here and finish your thing and go. So I stayed there. And that was the time the major two, everything, a lot of things started. Then I came to play for Baba. One Dr. Badri, especially, was a very good friend of me. So he told me, can you play for Baba? That is another instance what happened was Baba told him, don't bring him by flight, bring him by car, reach here by 12. So Dr. Badri and his wife and a few other cars, we had a concert in Academy at that time. After that night, he said, we will eat dinner, then we will all go there early, 6 o'clock you can reach, then you can take rest and you can play for Baba. That was the first time I got an opportunity to play for Baba. So we were all excited. We went, sat, came, but when we entered, it was 12 o'clock. Then Badri laughed and said, Baba wanted me to bring you at 12 o'clock to the ashram. I thought I'll take you at 6 a.m. in the morning and you can rest. Some car tire puncture, some another car got traffic loss. So we spent about 5-6 hours in between. We left early thinking that we'll be at 6, but we entered at 12. So that was, then Badri started laughing. Though when we entered, immediately somebody was given in charge and he said, Baba has asked you to have lunch here and everything. And then you can play the evening. And Baba has told a great artist is coming, everybody to come. So at that time, I was known in India. I was not what I am today, unfortunately. But so, any case, I came. Baba sat which was arranged. Baba was a red carpet. Baba was sitting there. Then once again, when I finished playing, he asked me to play one more. So they were all given time, as you know. It was very, very disciplined and organized thing. All of a sudden, he said, play one more. So he played one more. After that, he called me. When he called me, he folded his hand completely so that he could see that I could see that there is not hiding anything or creating vibhuti. To make my mind clear, he just folded his whole arm, created vibhuti and gave me. Then he gave me a ring. Originally, it's like a green ring. Then he said, I'll see you tomorrow. Then Badri said, Baba says, see you tomorrow, you stay here and go till tomorrow. I said, sure. So they arranged me to stay here, everything. Next day, I was asked, and we went for darshan in that room, special room, where he said, Subramaniam, that ring, he took that ring off, he blew it 9 times. I was looking at Baba, that became this ring.
Oh,
it's a Navagraha ring. But originally he gave me this ring. So it was all of a sudden, I'm sitting there, he took that ring, he blew, you need something he said, and then he gave me another thing. At that time he told me that, you won't be happy, you are meant to be traveling.
You're meant to be traveling.
You have to travel all over the you won't be happy. Because at that time I had a job, and part of the time people were saying, oh, you have got a fantastic job, still your retirement, who will get a music job, a good position in California and everything. But he said, you're meant to be this, not this. You have to do this. I went sooner or later, I left the job. Boldly, because I had, Baba has told, so something will happen. But subsequently, what happened was, like, I met one Richard Bach. He used to come and do a lot of films.
Yes. We have his films.
Yeah, he was the one who was instrumental in telling me, he said, you should do fusion, you should do orchestral.
Wow.
All the different areas I started branching out. Otherwise, I want to be a classical musician. My background, my father's vision was to bring Indian violin globally recognized. So I was very happy playing classical music. I had a certificate, so MA and things like that. But the first album itself, thanks to Richard Bach, it was selected as one of the 10 best albums, along with the greatest jazz artists, and I was not doing jazz. So immediately, I was in the top with all the top people, legends, who have been doing it all their life. So then Richard Bach said, now you have to give me more albums. It won't be released in India, but sooner or later, that fusion, a lot of people started liking. It also changed a lot of artists' life. Before, if you are not a classical musician, what happens in they didn't have any other area to go. My father was very keen in making Indian violin globally known as a solo instrument. Otherwise, it was only an accompanying instrument. So at that stage, he did what he did, but subsequently, there are a lot of youngsters started playing only solos without accompaniment. Then for the fusion, a lot of people started doing fusion. If you are not a classical musician, still you can be very happy. There are hundreds of fusion groups. So all these things started with Richard Bach asking me to do this. Then I ended up doing, suddenly he said you should do a big orchestral thing. So I did an orchestral thing, which became a very, very successful thing for me. So I did a lot of orchestral thing. And I was also very happy to do Baba's symphony here for Baba's birthday last. I've been fortunate being in this music profession because I got to meet some of the greatest saintly people like Baba. And my whole life was indirectly directed with people who were connected with Baba. And another strange thing was, after I left the job, after I went and played, within 3 months I got chicken pox and I didn't have any, after 3 months I didn't have any rent to play and anything. I left the job and I was sick and everything. I was thinking, somebody from Hare Krishna came and suddenly said, I want you to do a composition for Ramayana in disco. At that time, Saturday Night Fever was popular. Then they gave me a packet of envelope with a huge amount of money, which at that time, I cannot imagine that this really happened. Because I told them, how do you know when I'm going to write and how I'm going to write? You never heard my music. They said, we know, but you do it. After I left the job, almost for that year I could sustain. A lot of miracle happened for me. For me, Baba has been guiding me, even though he is physically not there. Even today when I start playing, yesterday I was extremely tired and yesterday I was not feeling all right and things like that. But today when I sat there, absolutely I don't feel any pain, anything, and very happy. And when you start playing, he takes you somewhere else. You go mentally, emotionally, you travel in another plane where he's with you. That's all I can say.
And you are someone, you have performed for great audiences in great auditoriums and in great stages. But how does it feel performing in Prasanthi Nilayam vis-a-vis performing anywhere else?
Every time, I was telling my son also, on the very first time when I came to play for Baba, those times I used to play a lot outside India. So we were very particular about sound check and this sound, what amp and everything. So all of a sudden we end up here, and then after the lunch, one of the Baba devotees took me to all the hospital was being built at the time. So it was empty, 1 or 2 rooms were there. I entered 1 or 2 rooms, then he said, no, you have to enter all the rooms because Baba said, take him to all the rooms. He will know if I don't take you. He took me to all the rooms. Everything was over. Then I went to the concert place, no sound check, nothing. I was worried because I'm playing for Baba for the first time. I want to do my best. The very first note I played, it completely transported me to some other state of mind. When I say that, you can practice and play. These are all different things. It's not virtuosic thing. You can practice and you can do thing which is for public and everything. But certain things that don't become live, and that inner emotion, something happens to you. Spiritually, something takes you somewhere. Somebody guides you. Somebody is with you. Somebody is holding the line. So the very first note, after that, I don't even know what I played. I just played and stopped. Then Baba said, play one more, and gave me the ring. And the last time I played, the first ring what he gave, which he took and changed, he gave back that ring.
Oh.
For me, anytime I'm in stress or anything, or even sometime when I'm hesitant to play, sometimes I don't feel like, honestly I'm telling you, sometimes certain time I don't even want to get to this stage. I don't want to play. I don't want to mentally, physically. Those times I think and start playing, but once you put your bow, something happens, and that sound takes over, and somebody is with you. And I also believe my father, my guru, has blessed me, so I could continue till today. And Baba's blessing always, and even our marriage also happened because of Baba's blessing, which she will tell you actually.
Oh, you should talk about it.
No, that's a very small thing. Like every time I would, 2 or 3 times during his birthday when I sang, he would always say, Krishnamurthy, husband name, father name. So third time he asked me, like third consecutive after some trip, I said, Baba, not my husband name, it's my father's name. I'm not married. So then he said something in Telugu, which I didn't understand, but they translated. He said, you will meet somebody because of your music, he'll marry you. I said, Baba, I'm not going to marry her. I told him all this and I left. But soon enough, he called me to record a song for him. That's how I met him.
Oh, wow. I think once he enters our life, whatever has been our destiny, it gets rewritten very beautifully. And as sir said, then it is not your mind, he takes over. And when you're doing our music, your spirit takes over. It's no more the mind. I think that was the only thing that was going on in my mind as you were saying, because you're on the stage. If you depend on yourself, then nothing happens.
Right.
And then, but then he takes over. What would you like to say to all the Sai devotees who love music, who love Baba, and who love Prasanthi?
Baba is there. He may not be physically there. By singing his bhajans, coming here, and the whole vibration, they can feel it. And even if they don't believe in this, they should come and experience once. That automatically, if they are sensitive, it will convert them. So we cannot segregate music from spirituality. Our music, Carnatic music, basically it started from Vedic chants, Samaveda. So it is all spiritually connected, and all the greatest composers, whether Tyagaraja, Dikshita, Shama Sastri, Annamacharya, all those people, they all sang to God and goddesses as a prayer and devotion with this total bhakti, rasa feeling. So the music is the shortest way to attain the inner realization and realize about the Supreme Being, and also to realize how much it is needed for us to be spiritual, so we can continue our life. Whatever obstacle happens, life cannot be perfect all the time. There will be ups and downs. So these are all passing clouds. But the faith and belief He will take us across everything, and ultimately we will mature to understand what the world is. Otherwise, as a human being, we all sometimes misunderstand, we all sometimes doesn't like something. There are always two sides to the same story. So always this is human. That is what human beings are about. But then ultimately there's something which is beyond all those things. So spirituality will give that vision. So I think everybody should come and visit Prasanthi Nilayam, add that blessings, that feeling of being around this, because it's one of the greatest saints of all times has lived here, blessed here, created millions of miracles. A lot of people have seen, which they may not have seen it, but we have been fortunate to be in that era where we were able to witness that. Now when we say that, some people may believe, some people may not believe, but if they come and experience slowly, that thought spirituality will convert them. Then they should all come.
Wow, thank you so much.